Tiger was the Masters level speaking prowess. You know, that's an amazing accomplishment.
Well, then you remember,
no one at home noticed.
You remember when Obama lost a straight vote? Democrats would need some 12 Republicans to join them. Do you think you can even get there?
I think there's a chance. I mean, I haven't, but the whole farm on it. Right now, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, there are at least 5 Republicans who've indicated support for a $2,000 check. Others are, making, indicating that they would be interested in doing it. So.
I think there is a shot that we can win this thing.
And Senator, why media lies to you, by the way? Here's an example of how the mainstream media lies to you.
And if they've got 2 kids, we're going to send them $8,000 of money we don't have? That just doesn't make sense.
Okay, so that's the policy question, the procedure.
But again, it's okay for us to send billions of dollars of taxpayer money to big businesses, corporations, and special interests. So I love that he uses an example of a federal worker who has not lost their job and has 2 kids at home. He uses the most extreme example of this. And by the way, it would be targeted based on how much income you have. So if a family, if you had made more than $75,000, you wouldn't receive $2,000. It would affect those who are in poverty. It would affect those who've had their hours cut. It would affect families who've been really, really hurt by this. That's who it would affect, Senator.
You know, what happened to Jake Tapper?
About,
I remember Jake Tapper, what put Jake Tapper on the map was that time that he questioned Obama about the Anwar al-Awlaki assassination. And he pushed and pushed and pushed, and then, shortly after that, he had his own show, and now he just softballs everybody.
Well, because you want to have these guests on your show. And if someone was just asking me in the chat, like, I'd love to have you, Clayton, interviewing, Senator Toomey. And I've interviewed Senator Toomey countless times when I was a news anchor. I've interviewed Bernie Sanders. I've interviewed President Trump, dozens and dozens of times. And the problem is that when you're in this like environment where you want to have these guys on your show, then you don't want them railroaded, right? So it's like, who wants to come back on your show if they know they're walking into a bear trap every time, right? Because I would have asked those tough questions of Senator Toomey if he was here right now. He'd probably never come back as a guest, but that's the problem. Like, if you're CNN, you want to have Pat Toomey on a regular schedule coming on your shows, and that's the problem. So they ask like a slightly tough question, but they want to just kind of keep it middle of the road. That's how this goes.
Yeah, and look at people like Ed Schultz and Cenk Uygur from the Young Turks, the people that actually were asking hard questions. And Ed Schultz, he just talked more about Bernie. He was a Bernie supporter, and they lost their jobs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what happens. So, I mean, I would have, if I were like that, if I was like that, where I'm just, like, we have a guest on and I just go after him viciously, that guest is never going to come back on. And these networks make their money by having big-name guests like that. You think President Trump's going to show up if you just take him to task every night? No, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. That's the problem. But thank you for supporting independent media. Like, if you're watching this show and you subscribe to this channel, you're supporting independent media. I'm not bought and sold by the billionaires that run CNN and all these big television companies. We get to call attention to the stories outside of the way that the mainstream media lies to you, by the way. Here's an example of how the mainstream media lies to you. Here's CNN. So let me just say this, right? Bernie Sanders has been pushing for almost a year now for $2,000 stimulus checks, okay? He and other Democrats, Ed Markey and Kamala Harris, have been calling for $2,000 in stimulus money. So now that the way that because the mainstream media hates Bernie Sanders. He's too progressive for them. They hate Bernie Sanders. They only like him in context when it drives clicks, right? So here you go. Here's just one example yesterday of the mainstream media lying to you or framing it in such a way. This was the CNN headline. Sanders explains why he agrees with Trump on stimulus checks. Oh, this is Trump's idea? Sanders explains why he agrees with Trump. That's how they frame it. Oh, here's Yahoo Finance, a big media company you can trust. Push for 2,000 stimulus payments finds Trump on same side as Bernie Sanders.
Really? Hand the American people? Maybe throw that in there?
Right. I love that. And the headlines, Trump and Bernie are teaming up. No. Bernie has been calling for this for months. Trump at the last minute sees an opportunity to needle Mitch McConnell. He doesn't give a rat's behind about you. How many people watching right now, let me know in the chat, do you legitimately think that President Trump cares about you? This is all about politics and throwing Turtle Boy under the bus for not supporting his effort to overturn the election. He's furious at Mitch McConnell. He's furious at the Senate leadership for not giving him more support. He hates it that they are certifying the election results. He's distancing himself from Mike Pence. He does not support Turtle Boy. That's all this is. He does not give a rat's behind about you. But yeah, if you read the mainstream media, Sanders explains why he agrees with Trump on stimulus checks. Yeah, really?
Situation. I just want to mention this to you. In the last hour, the number 2 Senate Democrat, your colleague Dick Durbin, told me he disagrees with your plan to block the vote to override the president's defense bill veto until Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell allows a vote on these stimulus checks. That's what you're pushing for. How do you respond to Senator Durbin? He doesn't agree with you on this.
Well, Dick and I are old friends, and we'll have our disagreements. And if Dick has a better way, a better approach to put pressure on the Republican leadership to pass legislation which provides $2,000 for every working class adult in this country. I'm all ears. I have not heard that from Dick or from anybody else.
Do you have other Senate Democrats who are supporting you?
Oh, of course we do. Ed Markey was on the floor with me. We have a number of them. The overwhelming majority of the American people, well, of the Democrats, certainly want to get the opportunity to vote for this $2,000 check. That's where the Democrats are, including Durbin. And I think waiting a few more days to pass the defense bill, which, eventually there will be an override of Trump's veto, we can do that. But right now, the focus has got to be on getting those absolutely emergency survival checks out to people.
And even if the Senate Majority Leader allowed a straight vote, Democrats would need some 12 Republicans to join them. Do you think you can even get there?
I think there's a chance. I mean, I wouldn't bet, the whole farm on it. Right now, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, there are at least 5 Republicans who have indicated support for a $2,000 check. Others are, indicating that they would be interested in doing it. So I think there is a shot that we can win this thing.
And Senator, watch how Senate Republican Pat Toomey explained his opposition.
So here he is. I want to get this response. So Pat Toomey, of course, we just played you his sound with Jake Tapper. Here's how he describes his opposition, and Bernie Sanders' response is golden.
To increasing those stimulus checks. Take a listen.
We do not have a global macroeconomic depression underway at all. So it makes no sense to be sending this out to everybody who has a pulse.
What do you make of that argument?
Well, I don't know, Pat talking about a global macroeconomic crisis. Maybe you should talk to the people in Pittsburgh and Philadelphia and learn about the difficulties that they are having feeding their kids or paying the rent or going to the doctor, the kind of debt that they are accumulating and paying off 20% interest rates on their credit cards by accumulating this debt. Here's the simple truth. No one can deny it. People are hurting in an unprecedented way. Working class today is in more desperation than at any time since the Great Depression. And we have got to provide help, and we've got to do it right now.
Well, there's no question that people are hurting.
That's a brutal takedown. Hey, maybe Pat Toomey just didn't hang out in his cloistered office in Washington, D.C. and actually got out and spoke to members of, his constituents out in Pittsburgh, out in Philadelphia, out in Scranton, out in Harrisburg, Latrobe, Pennsylvania, all over my home state. Brutal right now. And indoor dining shut down again. So restaurants, are through no fault of their own, are shut. And what are they to do about it? Nothing. They can't do anything about it. And they're not getting money to be able to take care of their people. And, being asked to send out $2,000 stimulus checks is not insignificant. It's incredibly important for people to be able to pay off some of this back debt, be able to pay off some of these bills, put food on the table for a family of 4 or less. Help these people, for crying out loud. New York is helping people on the eviction front. Yeah, they managed to actually put an eviction ban into place until May. It's only temporary, but good for the state of New York. But it shouldn't have to be the state pulling this off. It should be the federal government. Governor Andrew Cuomo signed late Monday, placing a moratorium on residential evictions until May 1st for tenants who endured a COVID-related hardship. The tenants must show documentation explaining their situation for evictions. Landlords can still evict people who don't show that documentation. So they have to show that hardship.
Now, I have a question about
That's
that.
an important piece of this. Yeah.
So a lot of times, the person holding the mortgage, the landlord, are they getting assistance at that point to cover their costs for those places, or how does that work?
It depends on the state, and certain municipalities have been providing some landlord assistance. Some. But no, there's no federal. But as part of this COVID legislation, the $600 crappy COVID legislation, there's $25 billion in there for landlord and rental assistance. The way that works is that you would have to apply for it as the landlord for your tenants. And we were doing research this morning on that exact issue, and it's not clear at all where you'd even apply for that. So I just imagine this 3 layers deep on how difficult this is for a tenant right now and a landlord. How does a landlord even know about this program other than like watching our show, because it's gotten very little coverage in the mainstream media. So then if you're a landlord, okay, you hear about it. Well, where do you go to apply for it? When is it available? Do I go to HUD's website? Do I go to the IRS website where I went to get my stimulus money? Where do I go? What do I do? There's no answer.
And a lot of times I think people get, they're really hard on the landlords and they're blaming the landlords and stuff. But you have to remember, some of these landlords are small business owners. They're legitimate business owners that saw an opportunity and they want to help people. And they're not getting help either. So it puts them in it because they still have to pay. Like, you'll be behind on your rent, but they're behind on the mortgage. So it's like both people are getting behind. So it's not necessarily the landlord's fault in every situation.
Yeah, well, and, look, it's a majority of landlords in this country are small business owners. They have like one property, a majority. There's very few of these Blackstone groups, which own thousands of rental properties, of these billionaires, right? Like Independence Homes and those types of places. There's very few of those big hedge funds. Most of them are like my father-in-law, who has a warehouse that he inherited from his father in California. He collects rent on it from people that use the warehouse space, right? Or somebody who has a townhome that they grew up in and they moved, but they kept it in their house and their family. They still have a mortgage on it, and they're collecting rent from a tenant. Or, that one landlord that made something of themselves and wanted to buy their first rental property, and they bought a duplex and they rent out the unit next door to a family that lives next door to them. That's it. They don't own thousands of properties. And you're right. For most of those people, they have a mortgage. So now that family that has this property, they're providing a great place for somebody to live, but they're also paying the mortgage on top of that. Now the bank gets screwed because it's not getting the revenue. The city doesn't get paid because it's not getting property tax revenue. The schools get screwed because the property taxes go to pay for schools, right? The fire department, the police department, it's a whole circle. So that's why I've said for a long time on this show, you cannot just have eviction moratoriums. And while, yes, this is nice from the state of New York to keep people in their homes and not get kicked out, this is a Band-Aid solution. Like, it's only a temporary solution during these cold months to keep people in their homes and not throw them out. But I'm telling you right now, David's right, you need a permanent solution to this, which is rental assistance to make sure that these people can get caught up on their bills. They've lost their job through no fault of their own, and your federal government is screwing you because they'd rather pump money to billionaires than help you.
And at
so
the end of the
Pat
day,
Toomey to sit there and pretend like he doesn't have money is garbage.
Well, and at the end of the day, it doesn't, like, all of the money, every single dollar that they give the American people goes back into the economy. Every single dollar. Because right now, people aren't worried about saving money right now. They want to spend. They want to pay their rent. So by giving the American people, even if you feel they don't deserve it, quote unquote deserve it, they're putting it back into the economy. They're paying their landlords. They're paying the rent. It's all going back to the bank, and it just fixes this whole problem. They're trying to put Band-Aids on things when if they would just stimulate the people, which they should have stimulated in the first place instead of sending all this money to these big corporations, we would not be having this conversation.
Yeah, and for Pat Toomey to sit there and say that we're not having a macroeconomic catastrophe right now, and he said that the last quarter's GDP grew significantly. Isn't that what he said? He said the last quarter we saw a 30% increase in the economy. Yeah. Do you know where that money came from, by the way? That money came from us providing stimulus. It also came consumers buying groceries. Consumers spending. Consumer spending was up. That's why we had growth in the economy. You want to help businesses, you want to help our economy, help the businesses get customers in the store. That's how you help businesses. If somebody has money in their hand, they can go to the store. That helps the business. That helps the economy. But some of his false stories about the economy is also unnerving because a lot of the money that has been provided to Wall Street and these 0% interest loans where they've, instead of investing in hiring people or research and development where it's supposed to be used for, they've been buying back shares of their own company, inflating the executives' pay scale. at the executive level for these businesses on Wall Street, artificially inflating their stock prices. The stock market is the most overvalued stock market I've ever seen. Thanks, Wall Street. Thanks to the Fed, who, by the way, is today announced that they will continue the mainstream lending program for businesses because of the awareness about it. Well, guess what? A lot of things happened. People ended up wanting to get some of these loans. So these small businesses are now suddenly starting to take advantage of some of these Federal Reserve loans to help these businesses. That's great. So the Fed is saying, we're going to extend it through the new year. Great. I'm glad the Fed is helping businesses while your members of Congress continue to screw you over and not do anything to help you. One of the big things that'll be on President-elect Biden's plate in a short amount of time is student loan debt. I want to talk more about that, but I do want to tell you about our free newsletter. Please subscribe to our free newsletter. It's totally free. Delivered to your email inbox first thing in the morning. All you need to do to get it, it's very simple. Just go to morninginvest.com. That's our website. Sign up, and we cover about 5 or 6 news stories every morning that I think are important for you and your family, progressive news stories that you won't see other places. We do it with a bit of humor, and you can read it over your cup of coffee. Just make sure it doesn't go to your junk folder. When you sign up, you'll get a welcome email. So just check your junk folder, or if you're using Gmail or something, check your newsletter folder or promotions folder, and then just drag it into your main inbox. So every morning, you'll receive our free newsletter. One of the big stories I am following is this student loan forgiveness. How transformative would it be for you to have your student loans wiped away? Now, millions of Americans graduating college thought they would get a job, can't, and now their student loans are coming due at the end of this year. They have to pay them back. They don't have a job. They might be living with mom and dad. And it inadvertently, it adversely affects people of color in this country. Historically black colleges, in fact, are very much the lenders who go after historically black college students are particularly predatory, in my opinion. And of course, there was a story just a few weeks ago that talked about how, historically black colleges, where you have more people of color, they have more predatory lending, and they sit in greater amounts of debt. Stunning, I'm sure, right? Upwards of $100,000 in student loan debt for a job that's only going to end up paying them maybe $30,000, $40,000 a year. So millions of American kids, millions of Americans are suffering under the weight of this debt. Elizabeth Warren, Chuck Schumer have been calling for President-elect Biden to get rid of the student loan debt when he takes office. He had been talking about a $10,000 reduction in student loan debt. They've been pushing upwards of $50,000, and now there's a new proposal out this morning that would actually try to eliminate all of it. And there's a number of different senators getting on board with this, which is pretty exciting. And I'm hopeful that President-elect, when he becomes president, will in fact put pen to paper and wipe away the student loan debt. It would be absolutely transformative if we were to start eliminating student loan debt and provide free public college for our kids. This all started in the 1980s. Back then, of course, during the Reagan era, the cost of college shifted away from states over to the students. It was a way of saying, we're going to take it off of the states and put it towards students. That's why when you still go to a state school, you're paying through the nose. After tax limits passed in the 1980s, state governments were restricted then in the amount that they could tax and spend. So public colleges suffered as a result. By the late 1980s, tuition for public colleges was rising at a rate that outpaced rising incomes. And of course, Reagan's deep cuts to higher education funding and student aid only pushed the price up further. So between 1980 and 2014, the increase in college tuition, this is mind-boggling, went up 260%. That which is double other consumer items. Like if you think, oh, that's just inflation. No. It's like double or nearly triple other consumer items that we're used to paying for and dealing with inflation over a period of time. Student loan debt, though, skyrocket. These predatory lenders take advantage of people. And now, this chicken is, was it the rooster is coming home to roost? The chicken is coming home to roost?
Yeah, roosters I think chickens roost on a nest, right?
Okay.
And
I guess. Let me know. But to wipe away all student loan debt could be one thing that we would see President-elect Biden tackle as soon as he gets into office. So right now, Alma Adams from North Carolina, Maxine Waters, Ilhan Omar, Ayanna Pressley, all Democrats, introduced a new resolution that calls for forgiveness of up $50,000 or more of federal loan debt. And of course, young voters who helped Biden win are the biggest advocates for this. And we're going to be watching it very closely because I think this could be transformative.
And to be clear, that's federal loan debt. So,
right.
Notre Dame.
Which is good because, I mean, that makes up, Notre Dame, no. So your private, no. But most loans, which right now sits at like $1.7 trillion in debt for American students. So there's very little of that debt that's not federal debt. So if if Lori Loughlin wants to send her kids off to college, then she should have to pay for those, want to go to Stanford, want to go to Harvard, and foot that bill, that's fine. But as far as public college with federal student loans, we should have that eliminated, and it should be taken care of for the United States. I mean, these are the progressive issues that I hope that we can bring more awareness to in this country. Free public college, Medicare for all, making sure that we at least have some form of basic universal income in this country. And we may start to see test beds of that in New York City. Andrew Yang is running for mayor of New York City. Here's a guy who pushed very strongly for universal basic income. How amazing would that be if he's able to implement that in Manhattan? Heck, it costs $20 just to go through the Lincoln Tunnel. You mean to tell me you don't have money? New York City? I park my car in New York City for 5 minutes, and I got a ticket, even though because I couldn't read the damn street signs. There's like 5 different street signs telling me 5 different things, and you get a ticket for $300.
Yep.
You have money. How much money you charge me for the subway? Would you increase those rates every 5 minutes? Come on, man. And we can't help the American people, but we can certainly continue to make that money off of them. So the cost of all of these things keep going up, and we can't help them out. So one of the big questions is about Georgia on this stimulus question. I just wanted to bring this piece of news in as well here before we leave, which is, how will this play out in Georgia? Mitch McConnell is it seems like he's in a real bind here because he does not want to pass stimulus checks, $2,000. And yet, the 2 senators who are running from in Georgia want it. Number one is David Perdue, of course. He wants it. He wants it bad. He flew to Florida to get the president to pass the $600 stimulus checks package. Begged him, basically. He says President Trump is right. I support this push for $2,000 in direct relief for the American people. And Kelly Loeffler was on Fox and Friends speaking about the very same thing. She was asked about whether or not she would support $2,000 stimulus checks. I love both of them. First of all, both of their arguments is that, when you vote for us as Republicans in Georgia, you're creating a wall against socialism. Because if Mitch McConnell loses and Chuck Schumer becomes Senate Majority Leader, this country's going to I love Marsha Blackburn. Literally, this is what she said, the senator from Tennessee. She said, we've got to make sure that we win in Georgia. Otherwise, this country is going to turn into a socialist country. People are going to get this was her argument on the air. She said people are going to get Medicare for all. She's like, they're going to get free public college. She said, we are going to have a Green New Deal. I was like, yeah, okay, keep going. This is sounding pretty good. So for all those Georgians right now that are suffering, wouldn't it be nice if they had universal health care? They lost their job, now they don't have health care. Wouldn't it be nice if they actually had health care?
So
stop using the term socialist.
What you're telling me then is that your people are going to get basically what you already have?
Right. Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah, because you as a senator, that's what you already get. You get this great health care. You get and by the way, you just gave yourself a nice big raise on top of it. You got yourself a nice new big raise. Well, here was going to turn into a socialist country. people are going to get This was her argument on the air. She said people are going to get Medicare for all. She's like, number one is David Perdue. Of course, he wants it. He wants it bad. He flew to Florida to get the president to pass the $600 stimulus checks package. Begged him, basically. He says President Trump is right. I support this push for $2,000 in direct relief for the American people. And Kelly Loeffler was on Fox and Friends speaking about the very same thing. She was asked about whether or not she would support $2,000 stimulus checks. I love both of them. First of all, both of their arguments is that, you know, when you vote for us as Republicans in Georgia, you're creating a wall against socialism. Because if Mitch McConnell loses and Chuck Schumer becomes Senate Majority Leader, this country's going to become, I love Marsha Blackburn, literally, this is what she said, the senator from Tennessee. She said, we've got to make sure that we win in Georgia. Otherwise, this country's going to turn into a socialist country. People are going to get this was her argument on the air. She said people are going to get Medicare for all. She's like, they're going to get free public college. She said, we are going to have a Green New Deal. I was like, yeah, okay, keep going. This is sounding pretty good. So for all those Georgians right now that are suffering, wouldn't it be nice if they had universal health care? They lost their job, now they don't have health care. Wouldn't it be nice if they actually had health care?
So
stop using the term socialist.
What you're telling me then is that your people are going to get basically what you already have?
Right. Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah, because you as a senator, that's what you already get. You get this great health care. You get and by the way, you just gave yourself a nice big raise on top of it. You got yourself a nice new big raise. Well, here was Kelly Loeffler being asked that question on Fox. Take a listen.
More than $600 checks going to Americans. He wanted to increase that amount to $2,000. That's been passed now in the House. It's going to go to the Republican-controlled Senate. So will you support that bill, that encouragement from the president once he gets to the Senate?
Well, look. The president has fought for our country from day one. He continues to fight for every single American. I've stood by the president 100% of the time. I'm proud to do that. And I've said, absolutely, we need to get relief to Americans now, and I will support that. But look, here's the issue. Democrats have blocked relief time and again. That's why we're in this situation as a country. We've tried to pass that relief since this summer. Nancy Pelosi, Bernie Sanders.
Are you kidding me? Like, is she saying that with a straight face? On a day when Mitch McConnell literally just stuck his hand up and objected to passing the stimulus. Well, here the real issue is, you guys over on Fox, you know, we've been trying to pass this. We've been trying to pass meaningful stimulus all summer. That is a big pile of horseshit. No, you have not. In fact, you did not support stimulus checks, Kelly. Neither did David Perdue. But now that it's politically expedient for you to suddenly support it, now you do. I love how we can pick and choose what types of aid we can give the American people, right? Like now it's politically expedient for her to support $2,000 stimulus checks. But what about universal health care? Like, how do you differentiate the two of them? Because one is perpetual and they'd be taken care of for the rest of their life in this country, the wealthiest country in the world. And the other is just like some immediate little $2,000 we can move past that pretty quickly and get back to screwing people over and serving big business. But she said that's the big issue, is that Republicans have been wanting to do this all summer, but Democrats blocked it.
They've admitted that they held it up because they were playing politics with the lives of Georgians and all Americans around this election. And we have to hold Democrats accountable on January 5th because that's what's on the ballot. Who's going to fight for the American people? That's what David Perdue and I have been doing since day one, and we're going to continue to do that.
So, Senator, it sounds like...
Yeah, we've been doing that from day one. You know, we never stop fighting for you.
Right.
I mean, that's all we do is fight for you.
And as soon as they get elected, by using this as their push, they're going to go back to, oh no, sorry, we can't find that money. It's funny. It's like we want to provide basic human rights. We want all these countries to provide basic human rights for people, And the funny thing is, the stimulus money becomes the provider of those basic human rights. Yet, for these big businesses, that money is technically just a bonus. So you can choose to give these companies bonuses, or you could choose to give people their basic human rights. And they're choosing bonuses every time.
This little Christmas bonus. By the way, they were calling it a Christmas bonus. Remember? You can give people a bonus at Christmas. A little $600 bonus for you. While these big businesses continue to get billions of dollars from us. We'll just give you a little bonus. Help you enjoy that little bonus. While Mitch McConnell, Turtle Boy, I just love how out of touch she is. The real issue, I got to tell you, Will, the real issue here is that Republicans have just been pushing for this stimulus all summer. Mitch McConnell has just been tireless in wanting to help people. I mean, he's just so, he just loves people.
Turtle Boy.
He's been really wanting to help people.
Look at that determination on that face.
I mean, he never gives up, right? He never gives up helping the American people. Oh,
that paparazzi back there is going to get a lot of money for this photo.
They're like, go, Mitch. Can you get out of here, please? Turtle Boy, can you please just go back to your home? Get out of here. Get out of here, please. Here was Marsha Blackburn I was referring to, and I love this. So she's really worried about Georgia, right? She's really worried about what's going to happen in Georgia, and if we don't elect these two Republicans, we are going to head for a socialist future. I have a feeling, I'm starting to believe that people who use the term socialist don't even know what it means. People are like, Norway is a socialist country. No, it's not. It's a market-based country, an economy. And they have a higher standard of living than does the United States. They have health care. They have better universities. Higher standard of living, higher wages. And people don't leave. There's no mass migration out of Norway. In fact, families have been trying to get back to Norway who are of Norwegian descent because it's so good to live. Denmark, the same. On and on the list goes about countries that are better than the United States that take care of its people. People love to throw around the idea of socialists.
Good morning, Kelly.
People don't even know what it means. Here's Marsha Blackburn warning us all of the coming socialist agenda. Better watch out.
Senator Marsha Blackburn, a member of the Senate Judiciary and the Armed Services Committee. If Perdue and Loeffler lose, are Americans going to be looking at new and or higher individual taxes, higher corporate taxes, a carbon tax, a reinstatement of the Obamacare tax mandate, all of which will achieve what Joe Biden has planned, a $4 trillion tax hike?
You're exactly right. And he said...
Why did I even come on your show? You just put all these words right in my mouth. That's why I love coming on this show, because it's just so easy. It's so easy for me to get softball questions. This is your mainstream media.
It means that 57 million Americans that are on Medicare implementing the Green New Deal. And
let's go back.
$1 billion tax hike?
You're exactly right. And he said that he would repeal the Trump tax cuts. He would raise the business taxes. He would begin implementing the Green New Deal. And then they're going to put everybody into government-run health care. That means no private sector health care, no health insurance from your employer. And it means that 57 million Americans that are on Medicare, everybody will be going into Medicaid. They're also going to expand the Supreme Court and give statehood to D.C., a city. Give statehood to D.C. and also to Puerto Rico, thereby having a Democrat majority that would be hard to ever get rid of. Now, that is their first 100-day agenda. And Don't take my word for it. Take Chuck Schumer's word for it. He said, first, we're going to go take Georgia, not win it, not fight for it, not try to earn the vote, but take it. And then they're going to change America.
Okay. I've got a bridge to sell you if you actually believe any of that. Actually believe that they, like, through massive progressive agenda, that Chuck Schumer actually wants to do that, or that President-elect Biden actually wants to do that. Remember, they want to try to scare you with this. Remember, Biden voted for how many wars? How many centrist people has he now nominated for his cabinet? Who want to expand the military-industrial complex? You're saying that what you're saying is not true at all. Like, if maybe Bernie Sanders were president, maybe some of this would happen.
Morning gas.
What? Wanting to put people into Medicare for all?
Cali doesn't possess
that.
He doesn't possess the intelligence to write
That's
that
why we're
word
telling
correctly.
we've been calling here to force a vote on this.
Yes.
To bring this to the floor, to actually get Nancy Pelosi to bring it. They don't
Astronaut.
support this. Nancy Pelosi doesn't support it. Where are you making this up? Trying to scare people. In fact, you shouldn't be scared. You should be like, yeah, that sounds pretty damn good.
You just had to convince me
you
that you
people
were a
have
dick
healthcare
rider and
during a
obsessed with me
pandemic?
before year's end.
Oh,
Okay.
you mean colleges will be paid for? Student loan debt will be taken care of. Oh, and by the way, Washington, D.C., which is its own municipality that has no representation. You know, people that drive around D.C., their license plate, what does it say? Without representation, right? Or forget the exact phrase. What is it? Anyone who's from D.C., let me know. I forget the phrase. Oh, yeah, taxation without representation, right? They're taxed, but they don't have any representatives that represent them in Congress. How horrible would that be, to actually have representation? Oh, and by the way, they can't just vote and make Puerto Rico a state. Puerto Rico would have to vote themselves, and they never do. See, Puerto Rico likes getting subsidies from the United States government, but they don't actually want to become a state. It's not going to happen.
Puerto Rico.
Well, how many of them have havens over there? Safe havens over there. They don't want that to go away.
Right. All the rich people. That's not going to happen. All of the rich people have houses in Puerto Rico. Because if they go to Puerto Rico for 6 months and 1 day of a year, and English-speaking schools and everything else, they don't have to pay any taxes.
Right off.
It's a tax haven for these rich people. That's why so many wealthy people have moved there. It's only 2 hours, so they don't even have to go to Florida anymore. They just go to Puerto Rico from New York City. All of these Wall Street hedge fund guys have homes in Puerto Rico. The only downside, of course, is when massive hurricanes come through and President Trump wants to throw paper towels at you and not actually help. If you don't have electricity for a year, then that's a problem. But then, if you're rich, you just fly back to New York City. So it doesn't really matter. There you go, folks. That's your big update for today. Go ahead and smash that like button. We've got, I think 18,000 of you watching today. Great to see all of you. 19,000. Go ahead and smash that like button if you'd be so kind. And right down here in the corner, hopefully you watch us every morning at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. Hit that little subscribe button. Right now, I think we still have our little Santa hat on there.
On YouTube
Just
only.
touch that. Hit
Just
on
that
YouTube
part.
only. But if you're on Twitch, subscribe to us
I'll
there.
put a like up on all our gas.
If you're watching us on Twitter, go ahead and follow me there. If you're over on Facebook, follow me there as well. Are we streaming anywhere else?
On PlayStation.
Nope, that's it. 4 places.
North Korea State TV?
Not yet. I've got our application in, but it's on hold.
We got to call in with Kim Jong?
Yeah. He thinks you're a little harsh on Trump, so...
Okay. Yes, we are on Twitch. We are. We're not streaming on Instagram. Unfortunately, with Instagram, we can't really pull that in. We could set up like a separate tripod and do it, but we couldn't do it that way, could we?
No, it's actually against terms of service. Yeah, it's against Instagram terms of service to stream other than with your phone over there.
And I guess it's the same thing with TikTok. I don't even know.
Yeah, I don't know about TikTok. I don't know if they even have they don't have an API that we can tap into, so it's probably phone only as well.
I don't know. Broadcast.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys for subscribing to the old channel. Thank you so much for smashing that like button. Really, really appreciate it. And please share. You know, you don't have to become a channel member if you don't want to. We would love for you to become a channel member and support independent journalism for the price of a cup of coffee once a month. You can do that by going to morningevents.com/join. Very simple to do. Become a YouTube channel member. Thank you so much. We've got you can see here in our chat, those are all channel members, so thank you.
Is that you?
You can do that. But you can also just share the show. Like, if you can't become a channel member, I get it. We're in the middle of a pandemic. Not everyone can afford to do that. So just share the show out with your family, friends. Share it on Facebook. Share it on Twitter. Send it to a family member via email and say, hey, I watch this show every morning. You should check it out. Covering these progressive issues that
We
you
got
guys
some
see covered
obsessed
in mainstream
D-Riders.
media.
Is
That's what
that
we do
you?
here every day.
Inbox me a
We're
message.
trying new things. We're building out new graphics. We're doing all sorts of this stuff. We're going to be building a new studio over the next few months. I'm excited.
This comment above you is
So
my
we're
clone.
taking things to the next level. What else do we have in store? Anything else?
Oh man,
Which, by the way, let me give you a tall glass of shut the fuck up.
just getting more dialed in. And gonna try to get more
Yeah.
moderators
You
for
need to
chat and
prove to
stuff
me
because
that's you.
chat is crazy. You guys are awesome moderators. All of you moderators that are helping.
I'm
out the
finna hit
channel and
that
Discord and
account
everything,
with a tall
we
glass of
appreciate
shut the
you guys
fuck
so
up.
much, and thank you for your hard work and thank you chat for respecting the moderators. They're doing a great job of keeping things.
Just,
in
you
order.
know what I'm saying? Send that message,
Like,
Blue.
the reason we do the
Yo,
members only
Unc,
stuff is
we good.
not a money grab or anything. It's to make this a better experience. You
I'll
guys
give you
are
3
having a great
minutes.
experience, and the members really love when we go into members only mode because we're actually able to have conversations. Sure,
Can't
there's
hear me.
still thousands of members, but it's a lot better than trying to have a conversation in a sea of 20,000 chatters. So
Right.
and yes,
Yeah,
it is a monthly
yeah.
payment, but we have it set to the lowest it can go, which is $1.99 a month, and you can cancel it at any time. And that's all through YouTube, so it's not through us. So all your billing and everything will be from Google. So.
Yeah, it's just handled through. It's like a subscription. So if you support our show in that way, thank you so much. It helps continue.
Well, that changes a lot.
Just a few moments ago, President Trump. We have some breaking news on the stimulus front. But,
Hey, yo, man.
just a few moments ago,
Y'all some
President Trump
idiots.
tweeted $2,000 ASAP.
Good morning, though.
That's your breaking news. Now, Josh Hawley also.
How y'all been
tweeted
sitting
that.
here?
So he wants
At least
Donald Trump tweeting
7 of y'all.
$2,000 ASAP.
I seen Callie. I seen my clone.
All right. So today, 3 p.m. Eastern time, folks.
But the rest of y'all just been sitting there listening to straight silence, watching straight silence like that ass.
Mitch McConnell.
Nobody said nothing.
This afternoon. Will he pass an up or down vote on individual stimulus bill? We will be watching him and his slow crawl.
Hey yo, and I just had a clone of my own name. So
when he says things like that, or
inbox me. No, I know you did. You did. Yo, but that's just, you know what I mean? The last 2 minutes.
Or is it just Republicans looking?
Like, motherfuckers is idiots. Niggas been sitting here for the longest all this time. You couldn't hear. I didn't know. I didn't even really peep it.
Sanders has not.
I've been sitting there listening to my morning broadcast digest for the politics and whatnot. Like,
Just a few moments ago.
niggas just been sitting watching this shit. Like,
On how this unfolds this afternoon. Will
Hey, yo.
McConnell feel the burn? Will he feel the pressure?
that's some idiots.
And if you're joining us late,
Not you though, nephew.
once
Not you.
again,
Not you.
When Mitch McConnell combined and created this new individual $2,000 stimulus.
But to every other person that was sitting here just watching and like
Here it is.
never text up, you know, nothing.
$600
Yo, no sound.
And it would amend the IRS tax.
I feel you an idiot,
Well,
but
there's
it's
a
all right.
problem
It's
with
okay.
that. That's illegal. The Senate cannot amend the tax code.
I know. I see that you just came in.
Only the House can do that under the Constitution. So
I seen the number change, but I still ain't see you send me an inbox message. Like I said,
You know is blue slip.
my clone came in here texting me.
The House is the only one empowered to pass legislation that
So
amends
text
the
me,
tax
make sure
code.
that's you, and it's not some obsessed weirdo trying to be
You
you.
can't do it. Are you new around here, Mitch?
Are you new around here?
You forget where you work? You too busy trying to get
Well-
out of there? Just get back to the ocean? So we'll be watching all of this today. Much love to all of you. We will see you back here a little bit later. Have a great afternoon, everyone.
We had a lot of people asking about making this into a GIF. If you guys are in the Discord link is up there.
You guys
right now.
missed
Go
the
ahead and join
entire
Discord.
show.
Discord is a free chat
That's me,
service.
I'm on
It's
the
like
phone.
a chat app. There's a desktop version, and a phone version for Android and iOS, and it allows you to connect with the community and keep the conversation going. I'll have my brother make a GIF of this. I'll grab this from Clayton and make a GIF of it and post it in there for you guys
So
to share.
You on the phone? You can text me.
For those that want to use it.
Yeah, I couldn't resist.
You got my number.
Enjoy some music as we
You can text me
and watch the slow descent of Mitch back into the ocean.
I can't believe y'all just sat with me for a whole blunt in silence. And now I have to question whether or not that's you or the weirdo that was attempting to be me. Oh, all the same. Good morning, good morning. Nevertheless, but dead ass. I wonder how many people were like, yo, is there something wrong? Y'all checking y'all side of the TV and shit? Trying to turn up the volume? There was just no sound. Should have said something on your end about that. There you go, nigga. There you go. That's all I need to see happen. That's it. That's you. That nephew, how you doing, man? 48 days left, man. 48 hours. Feel like days. 48 days left, man. 2 days. I know. I seen it. See, that's the thing a fake motherfucker can't do. I mean, I just got a good look at my own clone. It seems like they readjusted their shit and it looks just like mine. So, I don't know. I can't really see the difference. Hold on. Let me see if y'all can see a difference. I ain't finna save that shit. Oh, I'm going through all this. Damn. I'm one of only 3 people on. You switch your shit to a car. That's what threw me off too. I got the other one out of there, so, and they was retracting comments, so I can't even see it. Anyway, like if that's brand new news, you know what I mean? I got an obsessed dick rider. That's a dude that likes to pose as females, me and other people. But yeah, let me give you a recap what you missed out on. I'm not running back the 40 minutes of the show that y'all chose not to text up about not being able to hear. But they still waiting to pass the bill, figure some shit out. Turtle Boy Mitch McConnell voted against it, blocked it, and then came back up overnight with his own bill. Still got the 2,000 in it. There's about 3 bills out there now. One already passed. If you get direct payment, you should be seeing that land in your account by tonight or tomorrow night at the latest. If you get direct, that'll be that 6 that they were talking about. So, if you're tax filer and you claim someone else or you got children, you do the math behind the 6 for everybody that you claim on your taxes. So that's immediate relief, like within the next 48 hours. for some families. Additionally, if you received it by way of paper check, well, that's a whole nother story. But don't lose hope. If you have a pending situation that requires funds, just alert them. They know what's going on politically. All businesses do. So they know that the bread is on the way for you. You know. You owe child support, but not no more. Even if you did, you'd still get this. Last time they denied you. They denied people that owed child support or had anything to do with it. They ain't get nothing. This time you will. There's no, if you owe on a, what do you call it? A loan or something where your wages are being garnished, where they can legally take their money that you owe them. If you have that, they can't touch that either. So they cut that out. They cut out the child support. But if you got the paper check coming in, which a lot of people do, just hold it down. Right? Probably have to wait an extra week and a half. They're supposed to be expediting first class, shooting these shits out. They began hitting the mail yesterday. So you know you gotta wait on the United States Postal Service. You know they're always reliable. But by the time that this next bill, which will be spoken on today, by the time that hits and catches up to the other one, you know, in all reality, if you were dealing with a situation, you'll have a decent amount of relief to properly deal with that situation. They've calculated it out, and they've calculated that most of us are about $5,000 to $6,000 in debt somehow, some way because of this shit. So you get the 6, single parent, 2 kids, that's 18. Then you know, a week later, to another 3,000. So you know, there it is right there, pretty much. You said I'm in your chat. I'm in the chat. Oh, I didn't even see any of that. My bad. You're in the chat. About to go sleep. You in here? What chat? I even have a chat open. The fuck? What is this? She left the previous party. What up, man? Yo. We're gonna have to wait a million years for this to connect to some shit. But I can't stress enough, so I'm not gonna stress it at all. I'm just gonna Get your tall glass shut the fuck up. But to the other 16 members in here, you see that's not me texting. So you see that other person texting, running around, you already know what it's hitting for. What up, man? What up? Morning. What's going on? $30 people that what? They got laid off? Yeah. Oh, they called out. Okay. That's foolish. And you should they should use that. Did you get direct? Do you have your bank account lined up to the federal with the feds in them? Or you got the check? Yeah. Oh, that's right. You said you had to right. What? That's good. Yeah, it's been that for a few months, right? I remember you celebrating that. Actually, now that we talking on it. Yeah. Well, right. Every week, huh? Yeah, I've known hundreds of people on that, man. I've never, and I thank God, that's one of my blessings, I guess. But I never made it to that shit, so. It's all good, man. It's all good. So I'm gonna say though, I hate to be the bearer of bad news. I wish I could give you some good news. And I wish we would have had this conversation last week, because you resolved that situation over a month ago, right? The child support issue. You finished paying them till 2-3 days ago. I honestly wish we'd had this conversation 2-3 days ago. They just changed, because I'd have been able to tell you some shit. You know, I've been trying to tell you some shit since, the shit started. Remember, I was telling you with the hazard and all that. But, yeah. Motherfucking, the direct, right? So what I was just talking about to you, right? The 6, and you probably just got the 6. I don't know your situation, who claims your daughter or whatever, but Right, her mom got her. Right, because her mom got it. Right, her mom claiming her. So, unless you had others and you were claiming something else, then. But what do you call it? The motherfucking feds. Okay, so who you was supposed to, who I would have been able to put you through to, like, you know what I'm saying, give you the advice or whatever, the information. They just changed their rule for everybody about being able to change your information. So the thing is this: you have to have your bank account, right, linked up with the feds. Basically, I'm just gonna keep it short, right? You, like, listen. The same way you have your bank account linked up with your bank, it's just you're linking your information to the federal bank so that you can get a direct deposit into your account. They closed the door on that. A lot of people. So listen. So if you had a child this year, and you had a new child, right? Or you had a change of address, or your situation from the child care situation changed, you would contact them and let them know so that they could follow through on your current location and situation, whether they need to send you more money or send your money here or there, or whether they can or can't send you the bread. They had an open line for that. They just closed that line yesterday. When they put the 6 out just now, when they did this, because you hearing all about it, at the same time that they did that, they closed the door on letting people, let them know what's going on with them. So whatever last information you had with them is what they gonna go by. You dig? So, but even still, you good, because even though they last information was, oh, okay, yeah, we ain't send him no bread because of the child support situation, woo, he gets it this time. So, all right, now let's look. Do we have direct anything on, are they taking direct money out of your bank, out of your check? Child support, are they pulling it directly out of your, huh? Yeah. So then you're already directly connected with them. You're already, but see, you would have had to make the step and let the feds know too, though. You might, my ninja, you might see that in your bank account by tonight or tomorrow night. Or otherwise, they're gonna send it to you paper check. And then paper check gonna take, you know what I'm saying, a little week and a half. Well, the thing is just that, though. They closed the door. As soon as they did the bread, they closed the door. So whatever information you had linked up with them, that's what they're going to hold you by. If you had a kid and hadn't notified them, they're not going to send you any bread. You would have had to let them know. You know what I'm saying? Oh, man. This from when this shit started. This from when this shit started. Way back in March. I've done it intentionally over these last 2 weeks. You know, I left it alone all this time. I didn't want to, you know what I mean, be that type of figure or nothing. So. Roger that. Never. Everything I've done stream-wise from 2013 to this day has been to bring people together. Even if there was just a point in time that I'm just separating myself from commenters, streamers, and everyone else, and whoever's gonna fuck with me, cool. It just be that, fuck it. We didn't take up a war against everyone else. You know, I have my standpoint for the matter of my son, my children. There's a select people I don't, just a few, 2 to 3 people I don't fuck with at all. One of them texting up right now. And that's that. Other than that, I vote everything I've done. I don't care who got to talk and who feels the way that I speak, whatever. It's always been for the better of people, I feel. For the better, that's it. I'll respect you until there's no reason to respect you. And that's the beauty in individualism. The word wouldn't have any definition. Yeah, but we not finna sway this into, you know what I mean, the indifferences thereof, because that's an easy trap. I'm glad. Really though. I'm glad you stepped up to say so. I feel that everybody's sitting here. There ain't no other. And the ill shit is that, you know what I'm saying, nobody said nothing. Like, there's some people that know that this is what I'm doing, but they didn't text up. But whatever. But for people to sit here and listen in, I know people are listening in. So, you know, for you to step up and make mention of it, that's a big thing. I appreciate that. I feel like you speaking on behalf of everybody else that ain't got the gall to say so. And it's all good. Nah. I don't either. I do what I do because it's what I come up with. I'm not, again, like what we just said. Yeah, I'm not out here to be like him, them, y'all, whoever. I'm me. I'm an individual. I'm different. Believe that. I respect that, man. I respect that. It's all good. It's kind of funny because you only caught a tidbit of it. You missed the whole show. You know what I mean? I was sitting there listening to it the whole damn time. Yeah, it was at the, 45-minute mark. You came along. Yo, can't hear you. Wait, what? I can't hear me? Yeah, no. I know that like, but yeah, that's weird. What was too loud? Oh, word? When I did plug it in? Oh, all right. Well, then you had me bugging. Retract. My bad. Y'all not idiots. You could hear the show when you came to the stream. Could you hear the show when you came to the stream? When you came to my stream, was it just pure silence, or you just couldn't hear me? I wasn't even fucking talking. My bad, people. I apologize. Y'all not idiots. So that's their freedom. That's their freedom. I give them that. But if the sound had been off and people sitting here and the numbers in double digits and ain't nobody said nothing, a bunch of idiots. But if the sound's on and the show that I'm providing for people to listen in on, and they sitting there listening and benefiting off the information, and it's all good, and I'm not talking, and then you come along like, yo, I can't hear you, even though I was talking, and you said that the show was louder than me, I guess I misinterpreted it as my sound not being on at all. And nah, it was my fault. It's my fault. I'm the idiot. I'm the idiot. I'll let you take some of the blame. He an idiot too. I straight out hauled off and called everybody in here an idiot. Like, wait a minute, the sound ain't been on off of what I thought, and it was my misinterpretation of what you said, and you didn't explain it well enough, true. So, you know, it's all good. It don't matter. It's okay. It's okay to be an idiot. It's all right. It's all right. And it was the weirdo. Right. Cali Gaming. Who comes to text to you and many other streamers under about 7 different accounts. SRT, all sorts of shit. Y'all be chopping up with them, don't even realize. You'll have someone sitting on the side of your channel texting 7 different accounts and having like 2 conversations amongst themselves while disrespecting you on 2 of the accounts and then respecting you on another. It's a sight to behold. But my bad, honestly. I thought you were sitting here from what he said that y'all wasn't hearing nothing. Yo, I can't hear you. Hey, what? It's been, you know, that's a whole weird move. But actually people could hear. So my bad. I retract my statement of calling y'all idiots at like fucking 8 o'clock in the morning and shit. My bad. Perfect day. Wake up, play video games, eat breakfast, play video games, eat lunch, play video games, eat dinner, play video games, go to sleep. And they forgot to put in the insert of roll a blunt. But no, seriously. And I swear to God, I was like, damn, I want there to be no situation. I heard your tone when you came through, so I was like, all right, cool, everything gonna be civil, and we good. But that's the funny shit though. So you did catch, you heard more than what I thought you heard, which is good. So then, all right, yeah, man. I've been doing that because, as you said, you know, it's informal. And it's something we need to know. I was enjoying what the white boys were saying. Hi, Black Rock. And if you want to recap or re-listen to or subscribe to their channel, that's Morning Invest. Real simple. Morning Invest on YouTube. Cam Newton, cool. Why, what? What happened? What you mean? Why you even worried about Cam Newton? I mean, the Bears are doing good. Oh man, listen, man. Try, we still in it. Fuck you mean? It ain't over yet. Nah, we lost bad to the Bills. I fell asleep to that game. I was mad as hell. We was up. We was tying up. It was like 3-3. I don't know. I had been up like all that day, and I fell asleep watching the game. I woke up like fucking 34-9 or some shit. I didn't get to see that. I wanted to see that. Weed Farmer, what's going on, man? All right, Black Rob. Black Rob. What was it? What was the end score with Pittsburgh and the Colts? What was the end score? Yeah, what was the score at the end of the game? Oh, they did? I didn't even find that out. Wow, both my teams lost. Yeah, that's right. We lost our playoff possibility with the Patriots, but we still in it. Pittsburgh's still in it though. Yeah. Yeah, nah, we got enough W's. Giants didn't make it. 2 of my teams made it, 2 of my teams didn't. Seahawks made it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, again, seriously, I swear to God, I can't put enough emphasis on that. I've never done that in that manner, so I do apologize. Please understand. I thought I was sitting here with all y'all and the channel was muted. So I'm like, hey man, y'all idiots. Yeah, dead ass, man. Dead ass. So what? Is it alright if I be me? I gotta be who you expect me to be. Alright then. So don't worry about it. Let me be me. It's my show. I want to apologize to my audience. Is alright? You good with that? Oh, okay, good. The what? No doubt. And it ain't the end of the world. It's just a motherfucking misunderstanding, that's all. I'll be quick to lash out sometimes. Yeah, I thought I had a whole 15 plus lurking squad sitting here and ain't nobody says, nah, this can't be all the people. That's now. We're talking about, like you said 10 minutes ago. Slow, catch up. They try to switch on me and run the sideline joint. Let's not. There's really nothing much to say about it. It's new shit to worry about. I don't feel like putting people in worry mode. And what's good? Vibes. The fact that it's a new day. 48 hours left to this year. Today's topic, we was doing politics. Just checking in on the Senate, see what's going on with the bread. And, you know, is needed by many. Turns out it's 9 now. 9 o'clock exact. 8:59, but can I talk, motherfucker? Is that right? Thank you. So we're waiting an hour here, pretty much, because by 12 o'clock they have to readdress the matter. So just celebrate it. Damn birthday ain't even yet, man. My birthday next year. I'm not even thinking about it. I'm staying the same age I was this year. I'm not even gonna count it. 2021 is gonna be much better. You're younger than me. What, you 59, right? See, hanging around this motherfucker caused me to reach for a drink. Tranquility right out the fucking window. 2021 isn't going to be much better. Ah, man, I I like to be optimistic versus pessimistic, and you know, yeah, you can be a realist. You got a real crystal ball. Exactly. That's my point. You don't know what the future's gonna hold, so therefore, hope for the best, prepare for the worst. Well, all right then. So that ain't my fault. I have to talk to God. You know what I mean? Have a little word with God and see why his terms so sarcastic with me. Because he needs you to learn, my son. I say he should say something like that. I ain't asked for the working schedule, bro. I'm glad that you're working, though. Any old damn way. Next year, in your stream, yeah, you should. Don't start that shit here. Sorry, sir. That is not an opzione. Take your punk ass to bed, nigga. That's what's up. That's what's up. So you're gonna hear me talk about why it should be positive. The year, there's still time left within this year. 48 hours to be exact. You might as well focus on the remains of it to devote your energy to what you're gonna have happen to you, happen for you. Not so much worrying about what's gonna happen to you, but what have happen for you in the year coming up. It has, and you're gonna have to come up with some real good motherfucking resolutions. All of us. I ain't getting at you. I'm just saying this is where we at right now. It's that time of year. So what happened this year? How we gonna make next year better? I like to be optimistic, and I'm a realist. Yeah. But the realist factor is this, right? Nobody has a crystal ball, so nobody knows what the fuck is gonna happen. So you always look forward, to the best of matters. If you go in with your head down, then you're already starting off on a bad foot. That's a fact. If everyone acknowledged when they were wrong, the world would be a better place. I just did it to 15 people. Yo, dead ass. Sorry, my bad. Hey, no, remember that moment? Yeah, my bad. Dang. Yeah, well, you being selfish with the information that you read. Because I ain't never turned on your stream and see you promoting nothing about bringing a society together. Oh, creating your own society? Community. You have to have what? Water, you said? Order. Order. Yeah. Definitely. Without order, there's chaos. You ever try chaos? But how can you transfer that to work for you today? And make that knowledge beneficial to you in the present. You were going to say you got a lot of people that just want to go against the grain? Now that's real and that's true. That's real and that's true. But that's also a utopia. You just made your own society and your own community. And that's a utopia. That's where everything is and you know. And I'm just saying though, like that's okay, that's cool, but being a realist, you need to add in. Okay. My bad. Pardon body. Go. Pause. See, the other entity, before you go to the police and them, needs to be with yourself. Before somebody else puts you in line, you should put yourself in line. That's the truth. I agree. But that's not being a realist. That's not what's being shopped, promoted, marketed. It gets marketed. It gets. I'm just saying. It gets marketed on commercials, TV commercials. You know, where they show coexistence. They use everyone, all cultures. You know, males, females, young, old. In their advertisement, it goes over well with marketing, but in all actuality, nah, that's not the way of the land right now. Even though that way is on the land, it is existent. It's not non-existent. There is a large group of people within our country that I don't know how we could define them. Just say they actually are type colorblind or see not, you know, that and that's just the usage of word, but they actually read people different, not through color, more so spiritually, you know, and that's the way. That's the way, because you'll find good in all and you'll find bad in all. So, and to a no different degree, it be, you know, the good is everybody. It's good of everybody of cultures. Everybody, good women, good men, yeah, good spirited people. It's in all cultures. In the vast spectrum of humanity. And then you have the bad, evil, whatever you want to call it, whatever you will put on it, sick, whatever you want to put on it, demented, bad people, bad women, of all cultures, of all, retribution or run it one more time. They took someone else's life. Okay. I'll be specific on the crime. Are we talking about a rapist? That's too vague for me. I can tell you before we even hearing the rest of it. That's too vague for me. I'm specific on crime. Retribution. Retribution. Because rehabilitation becomes an enabler. So if I know that I kill you and all I gotta do is go through some rehabilitation programs and whatnot, oh shit, death rate's going up. But if I know that I kill you and I stand to spend 15 years in jail, that holds more weight than a rehabilitation center, now don't it? Or process or whatever. So you'll be like, ooh, do I go to the rehabilitation centers and process for 5 years, or jail for 15? Well, you want to cut back on the loss of life. We definitely not promoting that. So we'll go with the jail for 15. Well then, all right. Let me backtrack. Let me backtrack. Yeah, hold on. 30 seconds. I see where you're going, and you got a point. And that you're right. Didn't think about that. So now, after the 15, you got to go do the 5 for the rehabilitation. So we incorporate the 2. Okay. Yeah. Right. Because that means more money out of the taxpayer's pocket, out of their pocket. And since they don't give a fuck in the first place and just rather put the problem away forever for as long as they can, out of sight, out of mind, right. But now the roosters are coming home, and it causes for situations. And it always causes for situations because you always have people getting out of jail. You always got people going in, you always got people coming out. I agree. I agree. I agree. Nah. Nah. Because that ain't nothing but an associate's degree. That ain't nothing but a bachelor's degree. No. 2 years, 2 to 4. You should definitely half. Whatever the remaining. Look, you get to your half-year point of bid, you got to do the remaining half in the rehabilitating program. You know? And it starts. Look, and it starts. It starts on the inside, within the system, right, within the jail, and then they're released. You understand? So, say you got 8 years. You serve your 4. Now you up for consideration. Boom, they get it. You got it. So now you got to do 2. You know what I'm saying? You got to get 2 in. And that's on the inside while you're still inside. You don't get released at the 4. You just get accepted to the program. Then you do the 2. Because, you know, we got 2 years to observe whether you fucking skating through the program, bullshitting, or... And then you get your last 2 in the free world. Well, I mean, you know, only time will tell. I like you said, you know, you were doing research. I hadn't. I just know ninjas is getting locked up. You know, used to be one of them. But there should be an entire program to, what is it, rehabilitate or re-enter them back into society. Well, again, you know, just stepping back at that for a moment, there needs to be some fine-tuned stipulations, because depending that is a law, you know, depending on the gravity, the severity of your crime, you know, you might have closed some doors for yourself permanently, you know, and depending on your crime, door might be closed but could also reopen. It would definitely be closed in the time for your sentence served, and ain't nobody, you know, filing for gun permits in jail. And as a matter of fact, on that matter, yeah, you do the 2 years probation within, right? Then your last 2 years out, prove that, you know, you can walk the walk. But you can't go immediately and sign up for security and whatnot. Nah, you're going to need, because it takes 2 years for citizenship within a state to be recognized by that state. Okay, so you might have moved or something. So, one sec. 3 years. 3 years there after your sentence. All right. Then you can apply. So then it would have been shown 2, 4, 7 full years. You almost got a decade's worth of time. So now you got to wait of nothing but a year short of the time thereafter. And then you can, you know what I'm saying, apply now, you know, and see what happens. You can apply and go work and become, you know, become a security officer, become a work for the government or whatever, where it's required for firearms or whatever the case. You can open up your own gun shop or whatever. Or, you know, you can be a citizen of, and don't get me started. Hold up. San Francisco 49er, gang, what's good, sir? What part of where you're at? They said that new strain of 19 up there. Oh yeah, I caught wind of that. I don't know where it's at actually. I just heard it like y'all heard it. I don't know specifically where here that is, right? So I don't know if it's spreading. I don't know if it's a sure thing. It's scary because we had a scare before. And you know, Colorado airport is international. So, you know, motherfuckers is coming here from all around the world. And that'd be the problem. It's one of the reasons I chose to take a cut in my hours. I didn't want to be the lucky guy picking up that person with the new strain of COVID. So, but I don't know. I got to look into that. See what's going on. I'm going to check the news on my end of things. But, what was I saying? What was we talking about? Being able to return into society, be a member of society, be a productive member, be a, you know, taxpayer and all that, you know, productive member of the country should be an option for those that have made mistakes, because we all make mistakes. And you'll find that over 50% of criminals regret their actions, or were in a bad way and felt they had no other way out and, you know, committed their crime. But had been given away and not churned away, they would have been a part of the way. You get a lot of people like that. And that also ranges in, we're not just talking, you know, black crime, it's just crime in general. But then again, the severity of the crime and what the crime was. I do not pardon and I do not condone all crimes at all. And I'm a firm believer of the death penalty. So yes, we can have some rehabilitation. We ain't gonna lock them up, throw away the key and whatever. But if you put yourself out there to that point of no return, well, then there will be no return. If you can... Well, yeah, I mean, that's I mean, that goes with saying, you know, but it also goes without saying, like, yeah, the government, our government, and I don't know about any other countries more professed than our own, it's not set up for many of us to win. It's not. It's just not. and that's not a color thing, even though it's a color thing. Nowadays, it's just a government versus America thing. It's been a government versus black thing for the longest, but now everybody's involved in the vote. Mm. Mm-hmm. We the people. Give- Well, productivity, and they need to control the rate of productivity. I said that the other day. I said that the other day within my stream about the bug out community. We could go on for about what they do for clear another hour, truly, and no doubt, no doubt. But back to what you were saying, and I'm gonna get to this comment that you just made, San Francisco. Give me a sec. But back to what you were saying originally is that I feel I interpret it, and is what I've been saying all along as well. There needs to be more of a connection, and like when you said that if people owned up their wrongs, things would be way more, cohesive for living status for people, and I agree with that. But it's been that, and it's been overdue is the problem of what we're all seeing now. See, and that's what it is. But I've also been saying, compassion for others and understanding, cut back on the insensitivity, get back to being humane is what people need to do, governments need to do, citizens need to do, everybody needs to do. We in this country, we're seriously competitive towards each other and just the rest of the world any old fucking way. So we push things and continue to push things and raise the bar and see how far we can go, and even then after, see where we can get after that. So, we have to return from these pointless ventures that we've been on. But let me respond to what Brother Man here is speaking on, because I believe I could help him with that. Says, man, I owed a loan company, so I canceled my account since the checks came out. The bank gonna reject it. Sending the mail, I have to wait 14 days. Nah, you made a mistake. You shouldn't have canceled the account. They might see that as the move. And you might have thought, yeah, let me do this, woo, if I can get this bread. But you didn't have to. They're not, these checks are protected from child services and loans, debt, the bank, your garnished wages. It's protected from all that. There's nobody that can divvy into your check that you're getting. So you might want to reactivate the account just in case. I don't know. They can't. They can't though. I don't care who you owe. I mean, unless you owe the mafia and they got 2 guys at your front door, nobody can touch that bread. And they're giving it to everyone. Last time they did it, and last time they were divvying and letting people, loan people and whoever else, take whatnot out of it. This time, they got it in the law that no, that's not applicable. So, the money's yours. Big Crash, good morning, sir. Wow. And 9:32, 11:32 and a half an hour. They're gonna run the votes and see what they're gonna sit and talk and delegate and see what they're gonna do for us on the lateral, on the end of that, on the back end of that, which is the bigger checks. And if we are ever so blessed and lucky, we could come out with a situation where two plans, packages, bills can get passed, and they both have the 2,000 in them. So that would be 4,000. In addition to whatever it tallies out for you with the children or your spouse. But there's that. But otherwise, it probably more than likely be either or, and that will be touching down in depending on if you. They told you wait 14 days, but they always say, oh, please allow 14 days to arrive. You'll get it. You'll get that within a week. You'll get that in a week. You know what I mean? They're sending them out, and they have to do a mass thing of it. Additionally, if the information that you have with them previously is still on point, then you don't have anything to worry about. But they closed the door on being able to inform them and change anything about your current situation. So if you've had a child or you moved, you can't tell them. They're going to send it to your old address, and you'll get less. They're not going to count in your new child. I don't know why they did that, but so that they can focus on getting things out to people, but they closed the door on letting you know, on being able for you to tell them, hey, I don't live there anymore. They closed the door on that. So you might want to go stalk your old spot, because that's where your check's going to go. Yeah, I'm out of here in 2 minutes as well. And I appreciate you pulling up. That was you saved the best for last, huh? Goddamn. That was the most prolific and best conversation I've ever had with this brother on this platform with an audience. Normally goes with Ray, and we be like, yo, man, listen, man. We got to go there and shit. That's what's up. So, yeah, we got some, we all have things in mind, positive for people, aside from who we might profile us to be. I think that was a clear example of that. You do the same. You do the same, sir. All right, man. Stay safe, stay smart, stay up. All right. You see, I borrowed $350, had to pay back $405. Got tired of doing that because I thought the stimulus was coming. This was about 5 months. So when later, it's 9:30 in the morning. I'm listening. You don't feel pressed. Yeah. If there's reason to keep the door open, I do. 9 out of 10 times, unless I have some other pressing matter. So, roll up another. Get myself a cup of mud. Let's chop it up. Good morning, people. 40 hours left in the year. Serve them up right. Hey Google, play Chill Hop Study Beats.
Playing the album Chill Hop Study Beats on YouTube Music.
Oh, and Crash, I saw you playing 4, but that's I was gonna interrupt, and I caught the invite late. I caught the invite late. You was already done by the time I caught that. You still gotta get that 5, sir. Enjoyed Dirt 4. Gamefly shipped out Dirt 5 yesterday. Yeah, it is the Gamefly. They didn't got it no more. Oh, no, that was the red box. Good. Good for you. See what you can get accomplished with, massive amounts of pressure. But here's the thing. I understand completely. Did something similar, but I haven't closed the account. Biden practically in the Oval Office. We don't know if he's gonna make it. We don't know how to, we don't count on anything until we see it. I'm not rooting for him or against him or whatever, but something in his cabinet of people's promises and plans, it would be heavily suggested to them, so I'm hearing, is that along with student loan, it would wipe people's credit cards debts. Just everybody. I mean, to help the economy. Sounds like a great plan. So all debts will be wiped free. Now that sounds amazing. I wouldn't suggest go running up your debt. But there would be a mass forgiveness because the loan companies, Wall Street, they're using our money. They don't need it. They could go without it if we didn't make a payment and they just faulted on the loan or whatever. That they're already insured and secured for that. They don't just rely on you making your payment. The business is not going to fall if you don't make your payment. Oh, he was? I didn't catch that. Did he make mention of what I just said? So there's that, being optimistic. If things were to go right. And that's a definite help to every American. Not every American has credit. A lot of us do. A lot of us have a situation with our credit. They're talking this refresh, restart, business, so got to start somewhere. But as far as within that, I have to wait to see when they get in office. They might, because, okay, and to be more specific, he can do that. He can just write an executive order. That's something that he can put into executive order. That's something in his power. I guess that would also suggest that it's in Trump's as well, but it was never suggested to him. Or I never heard any talks about him never saying anything about it. They're not on that side. But and said that he can executive order that situation, so we'll see. Gotta wait and see on that. And additionally, just be secure mentally, knowing they can't touch it anyway. Partly the host asked him what President Putin told him. He didn't go into details, said Putin gave him congrats. Well, if he said that on the Late Show, why did he say on CNN that we had to worry about Russia and China? But yet he over here accepting congrats from the enemy and whatnot? I don't. Huh? And then he already drank the Kool-Aid. He talking all this foreign affair business. Notice, he never stood up like this is an outrage to people that we're sending money over here and they're not getting. No, he didn't stand up. He followed along. If people repeat something that someone says, they're echoing what someone said. It's not what they said. They're just echoing what someone else said. Do they wholeheartedly believe that themselves? Nah, they're just echoing, repeating what someone else said. So, already being prepped for, you know, the scare and the fear of war and the threats. But his focus, his entire presidential run, he was talking about the virus and the American people needing help. As the president, he didn't step up with the idea. Nah, his VP did. But she didn't step up with the idea. Nah, she stole it from Bernie. And Bernie didn't step up with the idea. Nah, he stole it from Andrew Young. Just doubled it up. Well, if we can afford to give 1,000, can we afford to give 2? How much can we actually afford to give? That had never been heard of before Andrew Young. Nobody did the numbers. All we'd been told is that, you know what I'm saying, we owe. Major deficit. Come to find out, we owe it to ourselves to give back to the country. Give back to the families. You get taxed, thank you, baby, thousands of dollars throughout the year. Wouldn't it be nice to get one back? Tax free. Everybody. No exceptions. Universal income for that. Same way everybody, well, everybody ain't getting taxed now, are they? You make a certain amount of dollars within this country, tax free, you good. What's taxes? All your money is your money. Between total taxes taken out of your wages, taxes paid at the grocery store, taxes paid at the merchandise, you know, the merchandise store, all that. Out of 100% of your income, oh man, you thought you was paying 10%. Nah, you paying 40. It's a 60-40. 40's going to America. And that's why a lot of people just getting by, because you're only getting 60% of your income. They definitely have to come up with a better way for things. And I heard your boy, I don't know if you're your boy or not, I'm just saying that, you know. But Biden wants to raise taxes. So if you didn't think we were paying enough now, get ready to pay some more. And all he said is coronavirus war machine. So I mean, maybe I need to listen a bit more to him, but that, and then, you know, the good things like wiping the debt of student loans. Yeah, wipe the debt, man. Restart for everybody. How could that not help? Got me thinking like, well, shit, if they gonna do the student loan wipe clear, I might as well just, you know what I mean, fire up 3 courses. Let me sign on for 3 60-grand courses. We give shit, give a damn. No. Mary Sue, whoever, you know, the loan department with the people for the student loans, they got it. And then, you know, the president gonna wipe that clean anyway, so before they pass the law, you might as well again get you some free education at the cost of knowing that they're gonna wipe the debt. But then again, I'm not too in a rush at all, because that's just a politician's promise. And I think we've had a fine example of watching politicians hold up to their word. You know? Don't forget, this entire year has not built up this country. It's broken it down in so many ways. So there has to be a rebuilding. That's the next step. Or there's further demolition. Especially when you don't have dependents on your W-2. Oh yeah. Your payroll check gets tax heavy. Oh, you living good? You're living within this country. I mean, you've got no worries, but you're own. Oh no, we don't want you getting ahead. No. Why don't you go out there, have some children, reproduce. We don't want you to, but because we're all about population control too. It's so conflicting. They figure you on your own, you don't really need your money. Let me get that, man. From you, we taking 45%. You get 55. Sometimes it'll feel like 60-40. Depending on the job you got. Oh man. What they call dead-end jobs? You just working for no other purpose but to work. Pretty much. Because they taking your bread, and the bread that you winning ain't helping you win. What you left with, they're after your check. Shit. You want to buy yourself a bottle or something. Because that's what you can legally do. You go ahead and drink your woes away this weekend, but you make it back to the workforce Monday morning. Bushy-tailed and bright-eyed. Chop chop.
The Ultimate Home Championship. Watch now. Only on YouTube.
Oh, you putting in your 2 weeks? You don't like this? We give rat's ass damn. Bye. There's 10 people waiting to fill your position. We don't value you. You're a fucking workhorse. And we all about cattle and herding. So, you know, what is a horse? A horse. But you know, what is a horse to, you know, the herders and the cattlers, you know? It's one amongst many is what it is. And if they got some love for you, then, you know, you'll be taken care of. But wait, we talking about the government? Ha ha. Government ain't got no love for you. Who you? But another number. And if the numbers don't add up right, we're going to audit you. You just keep working. We'll take care of the numbers. Don't you worry about them numbers. We're going to take care of the numbers. See, right here and here in clause 3 says that we're taking all your numbers. And we're going to leave you some digits. Sound familiar? It's the American workforce. So, they're raising taxes, huh? We got to pay for more military, huh? We're not dominant enough. We need to go into outer space. Really, because the future is here and we're behind the times. I don't know why we don't have spaceships and transporters and, you know, or maybe we do. We just don't know it yet. We're not privy to that. We got to work harder because that stuff's expensive. Funding a part of a future that you're not even included in. Funding a part of a future that puts more of a harness on your future. Your children's future. They are your future. That's your future. And I heard people saying throughout the year, we'll never go back to normal. I'd read the comments. I'd hear people say that. I didn't believe it. I'd always, in my mind, I never really spoke out to anyone on the matter. Honestly, kept it to myself though. But I always figured, I always seen it and be like, nah, you're wrong. Nah, everything will be fine. You know, things will go back to normal. Well, just like earlier in the show. I was wrong. Well, I never said anything because I didn't know. I don't know. But it's obvious now. The lifestyle that we were leading back in 2019, in the beginning of 2019, is to be cherished. It will never be that again. At least not for the next 5 years. Foreseeable 5 years of the future of this country, I don't think. You know, where do you see yourself 5 years from now? Still wearing masks. Dealing with this shit. Clint Weewood, my brother from the mountains of Switzerland. MC Soul, all of that. Morning, sir. This isn't just affecting our country, it's affecting the planet. Every country. There's that dude Elon Musk and Bill Gates charging people like $300,000 plus to take a trip to the International Space Center. But hold up, freeze frame. Breaking news. Okay, yeah, it's about that time. Yep, it's 10 now. They're hitting the floor. Tune back in. Let us chop it up still. Freeze frame on the Space Center shit, right? Visiting space and all that. Nice idea. Right. Remember the dude that owned Virgin Records? He came up with that idea. He had his own island and everything, and then his island caught on fire. We haven't heard about him in long. He was competing with Elon Musk. His shit failed. I think they sabotaged it. He'd been talking about that forever. For at least like almost 10 years ago. He came out with that. Yo, be able to get in the plane and experience zero gravity amongst the stratosphere. They took his idea, shut him down, ran with it. So, how did his island catch on fire? Like a whole estate caught on fire. Right after he came out that he was the head of Virgin Records. Nobody knew how much money he was making. I mean, I wasn't thinking about it. You know, there's people that pay attention to who makes what, celebrities and all that. I'm not one of them. And it broke in the news. Hey, he's one of the richest people on the planet. One of the guys from Virgin Records? Yeah. All them CD sales? Yeah. All them music sales? Yeah. But he got his own island, and he got some ideas about, you know, just being able to fly around like astronauts. 100,000 per person. They charge him triple. His price was at 100,000. I remember. But I don't even know if he's still alive. They told him sit down like they told Al Gore and them to sit down. We got this, man. You go ahead and live a little lavish life off of music and shit. We gonna play to a different tune. Jonathan, you have a nice day too, sir. Thank you. Right? But see, that was good for him. He's an independent. But now Elon Musk, he was an independent. Now he's in with government. He's made him some new friends. He's made himself some new friends. So, why the government is interested in it is beyond me. Why we have to bring about, and I know what they're gonna do. I know. I read a lot of popular science. I know what they have in mind. Tuscan Project. They'll be shooting Tuscan rods, just metal long rods back at the planet. And just like you see any other trajectory that enters our Earth's atmosphere, you know, it's on fire and everything, and it hits and has a massive impact. Now we're going to control that. So we're going to exclude nuclear, and those that don't agree with will have their shit shut down. They'll be invoked into some sort of war and be shut down quickly. That'll be the end of that. Space Force. But we don't need that. We're already dominant militantly as is. We don't need that. We don't need to be more of a threat. What we need more of is to take care of ourselves. But let's all hope that they, you know, that's what they got planned for us this year. Or that's what, and I don't know if it's planned for us or where we end up, you know, along the way. Because, you know, plans are always made and they're always changed. How many times you make plans and it didn't work out that way? Musk and Gates faking like they're saviors because they want everyone to think they breadwinners of that vaccine. Right, and that's the whole rich Ponzi scheme thing that the rich got going on. But let's see what they're up to, shall we? It's about that time. Check on my boy, Ron Yates. Good guy. And then what's up with the line? It's connected. What you on? Time for the best for you and your family, brother. Thank you. Sebastian. Cut the light on.
Vote on $2,000 stimulus checks, second stimulus check update. Vote on $2,000 stimulus checks, second stimulus check update, plus unemployment insurance benefits. What's going on, you guys? It's Ron here with your second stimulus check update and stimulus package update. Hope you guys are doing very well today on this Wednesday, December 30th. A vote, take a note, a vote on the $2,000 stimulus check has just happened, just like that in the Senate, and now they plan on keeping it at it until it definitely goes through. More and more Republican senators are pushing as well, not to mention the brand new stimulus proposal that good old Mitch McConnell has recently presented. I'm definitely going to share the updates and details on that one with you guys. And also, we can expect those $600 stimulus checks that we already locked in. In fact, many of you guys have probably already received them as of this morning. Check your bank accounts. And this is a big one, you guys, so definitely stay tuned. Keep watching until the end of this video. You don't want to miss out on any of these good news updates in this video. But first, I want to say welcome back to all my subscribers. I really appreciate you guys. And for those who are brand new to the channel, my name is Ron. We cover all things personal finance, investing, how to generate multiple streams of income, and of course, stimulus check updates and stimulus package updates. So if you have not already, definitely hit the subscribe button and tap the notification bell so that you know as soon as I release new videos and content. But let's go ahead and jump right into this. So, like I've been telling you guys all along, your voice really does matter. And that shows today as current Georgia Republican Senators Kelly Loeffler and David Perdue have just announced their support for the $2,000 stimulus checks. Now, they finally caved under the pressure of the American people, finally with Democrats and President Donald Trump. And if you guys remember, it was Loeffler and Perdue that are especially vulnerable because they have the runoff elections coming up next week in Georgia against two Democratic candidates who are easily on board for the $2,000 stimulus checks and who have been openly criticizing them because of their inaction on this particular matter.
The Self Visa credit card is the
cool.
credit card that puts you in control. How do you apply for
Man cave with just
card?
the old school
Usually you need
consoles.
an upfront security deposit to back your account and get started. But
there's a stream on
unlike
here.
other
It was
secured
at
cards,
Gang Dungeon
the Self
Productions.
Visa card does not require an extra
It's got
deposit.
something similar to that.
Just use savings progress from your
actually,
credit builder account to secure your card instead.
Cool little game
sets the
link
Self card apart.
layer.
There's no hard credit inquiry, no additional upfront deposits, and you can use your card anywhere.
So just yesterday, Loeffler said on Fox News, "I've stood by the president 100% of the time. I am proud to do that. And I've said, absolutely, we need to get relief to Americans now, and I will support that." And likewise, David Perdue also came on Fox News later on in the day, and he said, "Delighted to support the president in this $2,000. It's really a $1,400 increment over what we've already done. And I think with a vaccine coming, I think it is absolutely appropriate. So I fully support what the president is doing right now. These two before were on the fence about it until they felt the pressure coming from you guys. So I know you guys have probably been, ringing their phones, sending them letters, blowing up their email, but whatever you guys are doing, just keep at it. Because before, Loeffler never took a firm stand on the matter, while David Perdue was pretty much quiet about it, except for when he was asked directly about it, about direct payments in the first stimulus package back in March. So there you go, you guys. Your voice definitely does matter. So make sure your local representatives and senators feel the pressure by reaching out to those guys. And just to clarify, guys, please know that the $2,000 here, I mean that they pushed for $2,000 to increase the stimulus checks from $600 to $2,000. So the $600, we already have that locked in. And many of you guys may have already received some direct deposits just last night. But we have to keep the pressure on, as just yesterday, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell blocked the quick passing of the $2,000 stimulus checks. Now, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer attempted to pass the change to a unanimous consent request on the Senate floor, but any one senator could block this, and yes, Mitch McConnell was the guy to do it. But if we keep at it together with the stimulus supporters in the Senate, this could be voted on again at a later time or date if Mitch McConnell so chooses. Mitch McConnell said on Tuesday that the Senate would consider 3 of Trump's priorities: further direct financial support for Americans, re-examining Section 230's protections, bailout integrity effort this week. The re-examining of Section 230 came as President Trump vetoed the National Defense Authorization Act over not including revisions to the law that shields internet companies from liability for what is posted on their websites by them or third parties. No comment here.
That's cool, man. You got to get a
where we make websites, the Internet of Things, APIs, and mobile apps fast and secure. You use Fastly every day.
you gotta get a stand-up get you a few stand-up consoles, old games, Galaga, Defender, or something to that nature, Donkey Kong or something. I've been blessed to have lived on this earth for 40 years. Guns, violence. Racing Wheel. Oh. Guns, violence. Racism will never end. With Bill Russell lived the roughest times. I'm letting the ads play. When you support a streamer, don't skip the ads. I mean, even though you want to hear what you want to hear, but some of them, they be like 30-minute ads, so yeah. But if it's just a few minutes, let that roll, because it goes to the person that you're supporting. How's the mountain? Mr. Weedwood. Oh, it's not Weedwood yet. So, like I said, like I've been saying, so far so good, basically. And to actually reapproach something. So if you got the 6, we get the 6, you'll have the 14 follow through, not another 2. That 6 will be counted to part of that 2. They got the bill passed from it to go to 6 to 2. And getting the 6, you'll have 14 on the way. Not 2. It's not 2,600. And the 1,400 will arrive whenever they pass this bill. Back to it. My bad. mais c'est une pute.
Corporations a massive tax cut. Republicans just fought to include a tax break for 3 martini lunches in the COVID relief bill. So I don't want to hear that it costs too much to help working families get a check when they're struggling to keep their jobs, pay their families, pay their rent, feed their families, and live a halfway normal and decent life. And then he finally zeroes in on the Senate Republicans to join with the rest of America in supporting $2,000 stimulus checks. Now, what Mitch McConnell wants to prioritize instead is the override of the president's veto on the National Defense Authorization Act. But we and our stimulus heroes, of course, aren't going to let this pass so easily. The Democrats who pledged to block it until we also get a vote on the $2,000 stimulus checks. Also, not to mention that Senator Bernie Sanders, whose last statement says, the House has passed a $2,000 direct stimulus payment for working people. It's time for the Senate to act. This week on the Senate floor, Mitch McConnell wants to vote to override Trump's veto of the $740 billion defense funding bill and then head home for the new year. I'm going to object until we get a vote on legislation to provide a $2,000 direct payment to the working class. Let me be clear, if Senator Mitch McConnell doesn't agree to an up or down vote to provide the working people of our country a $2,000 direct payment, Congress will not be going home for New Year's Eve. Let's do our job. So it looks like no New Year's Eve campaign for good old Mitch McConnell until we get this. But then again, how many times have we heard
Yeah, can y'all hear me? I'm trying to destroy the mic. One, two, one, two, one, two. Yes. Yes. Alright. Get the sound back. My bad for the technical difficulties. I think I broke my headset, I'm not sure.
if Mitch McConnell so chooses. Mitch McConnell said on Tuesday that the Senate would consider 3 of Trump's priorities: further direct financial support for Americans, re-examining Section 230's protections for technology firms, and bailout integrity and effort this week. The re-examining of Section 230 came as President Trump vetoed the National Defense Authorization Act over not including revisions to the law that shields internet companies from liability for what is posted on their websites by them or third parties. No comment here, just consideration. And Schumer, whose future is tied to the Georgia runoff elections next week, as well as he may take Mitch McConnell's job if the Democrats actually win this thing. He said in his statement before the vote that $2,000 stimulus checks could mean the difference between American families
having groceries for a few extra weeks, or going hungry. The difference between paying the rent or being kicked out of your home that you've lived in for years. It could buy precious time for tens of millions of people as the vaccine, thankfully, makes its way across the country. $600 is not enough. And he also quickly added that I don't want to hear that we can't afford it. I don't want to hear that it would add too much to the deficit. Senate Republicans added nearly $2 trillion to the deficit to give corporations a massive tax cut. Republicans just fought to include a tax break for 3 martini lunches in the COVID relief bill. So I don't want to hear that it costs too much to help working families get a check when they're struggling to keep their jobs, pay their families, pay their rent.
New Country Crock plant butter tastes like butter, which means it's even loved by 5-year-old Cammie, who doesn't eat anything but buttered noodles. Oh, right. And now plant buttered noodles. Even butter lovers love it.
Yeah. If you skip through it, they don't get paid off it. And then see, what's this? You just gotta look. Okay, so this is 2 minutes, right?
I think it's becoming more and more important that developers understand security.
Being able to use it, I just turn that down, let it roll. Power through. But yeah, they don't get, I don't know if they end up getting half or nothing. Or maybe just, you know what I mean, a little bit, but that's the only way that they end up getting paid. I know that. You have to watch those videos. You have to watch those ads. And then, you know, some of them, man, like freaking half an hour. I skip on those. Okay, cool. And that seems like, because I asked that a while back, but unless you're answering, delay. My comment section is delaying. You would be surprised. But yeah. So 1400, and then we also have to see where this bill goes, which bill they take, and what Joe Biden is actually talking about when he hits door.
Feed their families, and live a halfway normal and decent life. And then he finally zeroes in on the Senate Republicans to join with the rest of America in supporting $2,000 stimulus checks. Now, what Mitch McConnell wants to prioritize instead is the override of the president's veto on the National Defense Authorization Act. But we and our stimulus heroes, of course, aren't going to let this pass so easily. You've got the Democrats who pledged to block the override until we also get a vote on the $2,000 stimulus checks. Also, not to mention, you've got Senator Bernie Sanders, whose last statement says the House has passed a $2,000 direct stimulus payment for working people. It's time for the Senate to act. This week on the Senate floor, Mitch McConnell wants to vote to override Trump's veto of the $740 billion defense funding bill and then head home for the new year. I'm going to object until we get a vote on legislation to provide a $2,000 direct payment to the working class. Let me be clear, if Senator Mitch McConnell doesn't agree to an up or down vote to provide the working people of our country a $2,000 direct payment, Congress will not be going home for New Year's Eve. Let's do our job. So it looks like no New Year's Eve champagne for good old Mitch McConnell until we get this. But then again, how many times have we heard, oh, we're not going to go away, we're going to stick around until we get this done, and then they don't, right? So, I don't know. Let's just see how it plays out, right? But anyway, guys, let's talk about the brand new stimulus proposal that good old Mitch McConnell has recently presented to us just late yesterday evening. You've got Republican Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell on Tuesday. He introduced a bill tying $2,000 stimulus checks to unrelated items on President Donald Trump's agenda. You've got a full repeal of the Section 230 of the Communications Communications Decency Act and the creation of new congressional committee to further investigate the integrity of the 2020 U.S. elections. And this is kind of dirty how he did this, right? And so by linking the increased payments to measures that the Democrats oppose, so-called poison pills, Mitch McConnell's bill will likely sink all efforts to get Americans additional COVID-19 relief. And Mitch McConnell's move comes just hours after he blocked a separate attempt by Democrats to hold a vote on the $2,000 stimulus checks that didn't include language on the other two issues. Senator McConnell knows how to make $2,000 survival checks a reality, and he knows how to kill them. Democratic Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer said in a press release, and according to Chuck Schumer, if Senator McConnell tries loading up the bipartisan House-passed Cash Act with unrelated partisan provisions that will do absolutely nothing to help struggling families across the country, it will not pass the House and cannot become law. Any move like this by Senator McConnell would be a blatant attempt to deprive Americans of a $2,000 stimulus check. So I hope you guys see what's happening here. So essentially what Mitch McConnell is trying to do here is he's not necessarily saying no to the $2,000 stimulus checks, but it looks like he's trying to tack on, as Chuck Schumer said, some unrelated partisan provisions which would ultimately pass through this.
What's good, man? You on our early morning digest.
Make it fresh. Make a face. Make it wobble. Make more. Make a lot more. Make crusties.
Senate, but end up landing on the House desk for the House to be able to vote on it. And of course, you know, the House is not necessarily going to want to pass that because they're going to say, you know, hey, what's all this extra crap in this bill? We just want to pass these $2,000 stimulus checks. So it's kind of putting the House, or more importantly, it's kind of putting the Democrats in a very sticky situation here. So we're definitely going to have to watch this play out. And the pressure is really on because along with Sanders, fellow Democrats and the American people, other Republican senators are also voicing their support for this. And early stimulus hero Senator Josh Hawley just tweeted, "I will not consent to a vote on this bad defense bill, which should stay vetoed, unless the Senate votes on $2,000 hashtag COVID relief for working people." Senator Lindsey Graham from South Carolina also tweeted, "After spending some time with President @real Donald Trump, today I am convinced he is more determined than ever to increase stimulus payments to $2,000 per person and challenge Section 230 big tech liability protection. Both are reasonable demands. The biggest winner would be the American people." Together with Senator Marco Rubio, who we also talked about yesterday, this makes already a substantial list of Republican senators in support of the $2,000 stimulus check. So the list is getting longer, guys. And let's even add to that pressure coming in from the president himself, who tweeted, "Unless Republicans have a death wish, and it is also the right thing to do, they must approve the $2,000 stimulus payments ASAP. $600 is not enough. Also, get rid of Section 230. Don't let big tech steal our country. And don't let the Democrats steal the presidential election. Get tough." Now, this is coming from the president. You know, it's kind of intense with the death wish and all, but, you know, I appreciate his overall enthusiasm here. And, you know, President Trump, he's never been one to, you know, necessarily be politically correct, so I guess I wouldn't expect anything different here. But, you know, if you want the voice of the American people, I also want to bring up the poll from the Data for Progress that showed the overwhelming support for bigger stimulus checks. 88% support it, 9% oppose it, and 2 don't even freaking know. How do you not know? Just take a stance. You want stimulus checks or you don't, right? And there's even a funny exchange in the comment section, you know, with one person saying, "I would like to meet the 2% who don't know." And somebody answered, "It's the Republican Party." I don't even know what to say on that one. But it's a really fast evolving story with the updates by the hour, so you guys should really stay updated, and that's why I highly recommend that you guys click the subscribe button and hit the notification bell, because I'm expecting more breaking news pretty soon. And of course, I would really appreciate it if you guys could like this video. I put a lot of effort into these videos every single day. You guys probably don't believe it, but your likes really give me the extra push to keep me pumped and keep working my hardest in order to give you guys the most updated and most accurate news available. I pretty much eat, sleep, and drink stimulus checks for you guys. And whenever I see familiar names coming up in the comment section, you know, I always feel that, you know, the solid community that we're building here on this channel. So really, you know, I just Like I say every single day, always, I really just want to say you guys a big thank you guys. And I'm always on the lookout for new states and local stimulus and assistance programs near you. So, make sure you keep watching for all of my future videos and, all the latest on this. And we already have a very impressive list, from our previous videos. And there's even one resource on the list that compiles all of the programs that are out there. So, of course, I'll drop a link in the comments down below or in the description down below. And once you click on that link, you just have to click on your neighborhood or your state on the map to see what programs are nearby. So definitely check them all out. They're all in the description down below. And just so that, we're all working together on this, I really do hope that you guys continue to post those programs that you guys hear about that are near you in the comments down below. It helps me out so that I can share it with our community. And of course, it helps other people who are just kind of scrolling through the comments looking for these different opportunities that they might not otherwise know about. So I really can't tell you guys, how much this means to families who hear about these in the comments down below on our videos and in the comments. So, it just really helps so many people out there. It gives them peace of mind, going into this new year. I think a lot of people need it. And again, I just want to say a big thank you to you guys. And I also do hope that you're learning more about financial freedom through my interesting tidbits in the past videos about compound interest and passive income. And we close out the topic on index funds today with some important considerations. As I like to call them the hidden differences between index funds. And I already talked about the fees and expense ratios that they take out as percentages of your earnings. Now, in addition to that, another consideration that you should definitely keep an eye out for is the tracking error. Now, the main selling point of an index fund is the simplicity of it is, it's just really just following the designated index. There's nothing special going on there. It just needs to follow the designated index. So just like it sounds, the better you can follow the index, the better off your index fund is going to perform. But of course, because of countless factors, there are definitely differences, between your index fund and the benchmark that the index follows. And this difference is called the tracking error. So what you guys need to watch out for is the large tracking errors, which should translate to a large difference in the returns between your index fund and the benchmark itself. That
he's talking about business investment.
Now, this could end up being an indication of a poor fund construction. Maybe this fund was poorly constructed, or maybe your fees or operating expenses are just way too high. And you've also got to be careful of funds that have index-like funds names, but they're not really indexes. And so just because it says fund doesn't mean it's an index fund, just, because
The Self Visa credit card is the credit card that puts you in control. How do you apply for a secured card? Usually, you need an upfront security deposit to back your account and get started. But, unlike other secured cards, the Self Visa card does not require an extra deposit. Just use savings progress from your credit builder account to secure your card instead. What really sets the Self card apart? There's no hard credit.
Hey everyone, it's Andrew Cartwright. Happy Hump Day. Yes, happy Hump Day. We're in the middle of the week and almost New Year's. Here's your daily stimulus check, second stimulus check, your executive action, executive order, memorandum, moratorium, and stimulus package update for Wednesday, December 30th, 2020. Great news here, interesting news here, and fantastic news. Find out the financial experts believe that $2,000 checks will significantly boost the economy. I'll explain how and why it's important. How Mitch McConnell blocked the Democrats' $2,000 check proposal and offered his own $2,000 plan. And how another round of stimulus checks could hit your bank account at any moment, like any second. You could just, boom, could pop up like about 2 o'clock today. After this.
Yeah, this one and I'm out. 10 minutes.
For the best news and information to master and elevate and dominate your money, your business, and your life, stay tuned to this channel. Also, we give away money here when we hit 150,000 subscribers. We're so close with your love and support. Yes, thank you so much. I really appreciate you. All you have to do to win $1,500 is be picked. All you do is subscribe, like, and put a comment. We're going to pick a random comment. We'll give away $1,500 of my cash from my account to your account. And if you can't wait that long, you just say, well, I'll put a comment, but I'd like something today. Go down below, hit the Webull link. For the next few days, they have a limited time offer. You can get 4 free stocks. 2 could be valued up over $3,000. All you got to do is fund the account with $100. You owe it to yourself to check it out. There's no catch. And also for behind the scenes, also what I invest in, and just special articles that we put out every single day, well, 5 days a week. check out my Patreon. But first, and you get a free copy of my book with a subscription to Patreon. But first, according to some financial experts, President Trump and House Democrat pushed to amend the $600 stimulus checks to, yes, a nice round $2,000 that could boost the economy significantly as we head into 2021. Anita Markowski, obviously probably Polish. Jeffries, this is a huge financial firm, chief financial economist, explained, quote, stimulus checks of $2,000 as opposed to just $600, approved by Congress and signed by Trump over the weekend at his golf course, would add nearly 1% to the 2021 GDP forecast. Let me explain. 1% is huge, absolutely huge. With the cushion of that 1%, it...
Hi there, I'm the dental implant educator here, and I wanted to make a really simple video to help explain what dental implant options are available to you. I want to show what they look like.
Could help us to elevate next year. We need the support of the GDP to make sure we do it. And we're a consumer-based economy, so the more money we put into the economy, the more consumption, the more stable we are. She also stated, quote, GDP would be close to 6% growth next year under the more optimistic stimulus check scenario as consumers spend at a greater clip. Now remember, almost anything is going to look better than this year if we come out of this virus. So don't be fooled when economists say, oh, 6%. Well, 6% increase, if we've had a 10% decline, it's probably it's a 4% net loss, right? At any rate. Goldman's chief economist, Jan Horzusas, yes, I messed up every name, I tell you, said, quote, while the income effects of the fiscal package will be very front-loaded, we expect the impact of consumer spending to be more evenly distributed throughout the year, which means some people will pop money in their savings account, and over time they'll see it in the savings account and go, wow, I really like that over there. That dress or that suit looks pretty nice. I think I'll spiff up for my new job interview, right? Hey, that's how it happened. As you all know, we love to listen to the economists in regards to stimulus funds because they run the reports, they do the research. Might as well quote them. They're going to spend their life in front of a computer analyzing what we do. I think it's important we give them some credit. I just hope that Congress can finally get on board with that $2,000 stimulus check in the new disaster relief package. These economists, they're mostly right, like horseshoes and grenades. They're mostly right. That's just how it works with economists. They're forecasting. They're predicting based on, and they're gotten really good over the years. Meanwhile, Senator Majority Leader Mitch McConnell shut down the House Democrats' $2,000 check proposal and offered his own plan to disperse $2,000 stimulus checks to Americans in need. I guess he's never going to miss a political opportunity, right? It's like, hey, I want some stuff. Let me throw it in there and kill the prospect of this 2,000 unless the Democrats can suck it up and get rid of a couple of sections and add some sections to it. He included in the $2,000 stimulus proposal 2 additional stimulus items. A repeal of Section 230, which offers liability protection to online platforms like Facebook and Google. And imagine the lobbyists that Facebook, Google, and all the platforms, Twitter, Instagram have in Washington. So think about that for a minute. And the creation of a community on the Election Assistance Commission to study election integrity. So, 2 things. Liability protection, the 230 repeal, right, which they lose that protection. And we're going to go ahead and investigate fraud on the taxpayers' dime. Yeah, McConnell explained, quote, during this process, the president highlighted 3 additional items of the national significance he would like to see Congress tackle together. He continued, those are the 3 important subjects the president has linked together. This week, the Senate will begin to process to bring these 3 priorities into focus, meaning focus means argue a lot on the floor. Everybody voices their opinion, makes their speeches, and they get on their soapbox, and then hopefully at the end of it, we get our $2,000. So really, Mitch, you have to get those items passed right now. Please, just get us a $2,000 check soon that we're asking for. I'm so tired of the political games.
Fee-free overdraft up to $100 with SpotMe. Get paid up to 2 days early with direct deposit.
As I think my audience is, and we all, like, need, I mean, $2,000 to bump us 1%, give us a little safety, a safety score, like a cheat code for 2021. Come on, just give it to the people. Finally, Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin, my man Mnuchin, who's back on the job, made some very encouraging comments last night regarding when you can expect to see the $600 checks, which were approved, and that Phase 4 disaster relief bill, which is fantastic. He tweeted last night, of course, that's all I do is read articles and Twitter. Mnuchin explained that stimulus checks, quote, may begin to arrive in some accounts by direct deposit as early as tonight. That was last night. None of my audience yet has said it's hit their account, and I haven't seen it either. So, Mnuchin continued, quote, the good news is this is a very, very fast way of getting money into the economy, but he emphasized people are going to see this money at the end of the next week. So by next week, we should see it. I know I saw the stock market boost this morning, so maybe they are hitting the accounts. He also stated, quote, these payments are an integral part of our commitment to providing vital additional economic relief to American people during this unprecedented time. And it is so unprecedented, like not since 1909. This is great news for millions of Americans, and I hope that everybody out there can begin, will get these vital funds that they've been waiting on, and some stimulus relief that we need, that $600 check coming in days. And I'm so glad Mnuchin didn't sit and wait for this $2,000 bill to pass. Yes, you might have to print 2 checks, but I think we can afford this, afford 2 checks at this point. And guys, it's only $465 billion, right? That was your stimulus check and second stimulus check, your executive action and stimulus package update for Wednesday, December 30th, 2020. Thank you so much for watching and for making it this far. I really appreciate you guys. We work really hard on these videos to read all the articles so that we can bring you the best of what we find and get rid of all the fake stuff that is just there to dramatize and make you feel bad. And give you the stuff that matters, the critical stuff, and source everything. So check out the articles below. Also, could you leave me your favorite fast food restaurant or food or drink item that you love? I'd love to know. I had an escargot last night. It was actually pretty good at a French restaurant. I'm Andrew Cartwright. Stay safe out there. Take care. I love you. Yeah, Andre, Jack, and I were like having escargot with bread, watching the Bellagio water feature till midnight. It was actually pretty cool. Anyway, take care. Love you.
And you know my cadence. Appreciate everybody showing up. I think somebody got a 12 glass, shut the fuck up. I don't know. But it's been all peaceful, good vibes. And I wish you all the day to remain that way as well, and the best for all of us. So stay safe, stay smart, and stay up. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.